Hey, everybody.
Yo.
What's going on?
What's up? We're here for the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I am the armchair QB Dizzle, and I'm here with the sexiest, baldest head in all the land, Dutchie.
Yo.
And C Money's here, everybody.
Good.
We're here to talk the top 10 butts. Unfortunately, Eric is on his cruise ship to Moravia right now. So he has other matters. He's got to meet with the president and do all this other shit. So
Cruise ship to Moravia?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so he's off doing that, and I can't say the man that put the E in some witty thing anymore.
Yeah.
So that ruined the intro. But Eric's gone, and we're going to miss him, but we have to move on and be strong, damn it. So that's what we're going to do.
Aye.
And and we're here to top the top 10 busts ever in wrestling. So a guy or a lady who you think had the utmost potential and it seemed like they were going somewhere, no matter the company they were in, and they just didn't. It could be a good basis to go, they failed in WWE, maybe they failed somewhere else, but whatever are all opinions of what a bust is. It's going to be unique to me, Cleneth, and Doug, and all our lists are probably going to be different. And if you disagree in the comments, let us know. And if you agree, let us know too. Some positive feedback's always fucking nice. So, maybe who's your biggest bust? Let us know. So let's bust down this list, Doug.
Let's bust it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I'll go first, which I think somebody that's a pretty good description of a bust. And we're going to start at number 10 for me with David Flair.
Oh,
because I think when you think Nepo babies now, you think of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and some of the best guys in the business. But Nepo babies weren't always the best, in the business.
No.
And especially back then. And I have another guy, that's going to be down later. But this young man had all the cred in the world from who his father was. And he was always going to get a job instantly. And he did in WCW. And maybe the most uncoordinated guy I've ever seen. He just wasn't built for the business. He didn't look like an athlete, which, his father didn't either, but his father could really go. And he kind of had a hunch a little bit to him.
Yeah.
Like he just felt flat-footed and looked kind of awkward in there. And that's how I imagine if I stepped in a ring and had a match today, I'd have a David Flair match if I didn't just pass out. But I always thought, because that's the son of the Nature Boy, and they really did try some stuff with him. And he's 10. A lot of people might think he should be higher, but he's 10 for me because the stuff in WCW 2000 when that company was fucking bad, his stuff with Daphne and Crowbar wasn't. It was sort of entertaining.
Yeah.
And so I will give him a little credit, but no one was watching anymore. No one gave a shit. And he really didn't, he never panned out. And the most he ever really did in the business was get the fuck beat out of him by The Undertaker to build that WrestleMania thing with Taker and Rick. So the definition of a Nepo baby that just couldn't, he's no Cody Rhodes. He just couldn't catch a hold of it. They tried different storylines. Vince Russo really tried to give him stuff, but he just wasn't, he wasn't it.
Right.
So David Flair is my number 10. Doug, who do you got at 10?
So I went the WCW route, and I went with Alex Wright.
Okay.
When he came in, he was 18 years old in 1994.
Yes.
And he came in, big push, good-looking guy, athletic.
The whole nine.
But he couldn't cut a promo.
Yeah.
Because he was German. And it was difficult.
Yeah.
So they pushed him for a little bit, and then he failed to connect with the audience because they couldn't understand what he was saying. So they kind of...
He never did anything but dance.
Yeah.
That's all he ever did. He would go out there and it was like another Disco Inferno, and then they teamed them.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the hell?
When they turned him heel, I felt like they could have done a little more with him. They gave him a TV title run, a cruiserweight title run.
Well, yeah. And I still say that Berlin shit, he's a victim of a switch of administration. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Where you have one booker leave and another booker come. Eric Bischoff was really into the Berlin idea with him, was shaving the head bald and him having the wall as a bodyguard. And he kind of, he had a new thing going that could have had legs, but then Russo came in and was like, it's not my creation. We're doing something different.
Yeah.
Which, and it is what it is. But there was a couple times I think that's a good pick because he never really did anything. And he never ended up in WWE.
Yeah. Well, and because he was one of those guys that was there until the end, and he just decided, you know what? I'll take the money that comes with the,
Did he have a Turner? Holy shit. That's crazy. They were throwing money when he had a Turner contract.
Yeah.
Eric, I see what you're trying to do. And by the way, you're the biggest Cody Rhodes fan on planet Earth with me. So I know that this is from a good place and you're not just hating on Cody. I don't think Cody, if he would have never did AEW, I don't think you could have still said he was a bust. He had enough stuff with the dashing shit and the Rey Mysterio feud. He had enough stuff. Yes, the start was whack. I don't think he was a bust when he left. Do you, Cleneth?
So in a way, I would say that Cody Rhodes was bust borderline before AEW. Yeah. I think when his WWE run, his first WWE run with Legacy and all that, he was after that. It was all downhill. I think TNA, Ring of Honor, and AEW helped bring him back up to superstardom to where he is now.
Well, yeah, and he completely did that himself. That's why it's a weird alternate history, because it's like, dude, he really had the chutzpah to make that shit.
Yeah.
So he was going to make sure it happened. But
yeah.
I do
think for the very first run, I will say bust all the way.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I don't agree. Because I think he had enough good mid-card stuff. He was never on top, but like the tag matches with Legacy and the I don't want to say his name because I don't want to tick him off anybody else's list. But to me, DiBiase Jr. is a way bigger bust than Cody ever was.
Oh, yeah. Well, I totally agree with that.
But,
is he on your list?
Well, actually, he is my number 10 to tell you the truth.
Well, there we go. Let's go.
Let's transition, Cleneth. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ted DiBiase to me is number 10 on my list because like he said, if it wasn't for Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, he was merely just a sidekick. After that, he tried bringing back that $1 million title. His runs was weak. He had no mid-card persona on there.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing pick because Cody was set up as the lackey. Cody, they never had the vision in Cody. DiBiase was kind of set up to be the guy. And he got like you said, the $1 million championship. He got put with Maurice, and then she's like, oh, fuck this guy. I'm fucking Miz. And but and he did, like, he was set up to do something and be a main eventer someday. And I remember when they did the Future Stars of WWE, Cody was like in the back and Teddy was in front, like in the front with John Morrison, and Ted never did anything. And then he, like a year later, his stock instantly dropped and he was a jobber. And then a year later he's gone. And now isn't he in jail? Or did he finally get out?
He's I think he could spend up to 45 years in the slammer for the Mississippi fraud scam.
Yeah, I know he did some fraudulent. He has fraud or something. I don't know enough about his case to really, but I know he was serving, heavy time.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely a bust. WWE thought he was going to main event a WrestleMania someday. So for where his career went and everything, I think that's a great pick.
I mean, he got lucked out when he got the triple threat with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. So
yeah.
Well, and here's the thing: he was originally meant for that babyface run. He was the one that was going to turn babyface on Cody and Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, but what changed was the fans cheered Randy at the 2010 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And they were booing DiBiase. And this is where, you start to dictate, and this is, I believe, why Vince went nuts, because the fans started to really dictate what was going on.
Yeah.
They didn't want to cheer DiBiase. They wanted to cheer Orton.
Yeah.
So now that you have to switch course and you have to do, Orton as a babyface, which, when you're going around punting people in the head
he was the most
and
hateful dude.
and RKO-ing the boss's daughter and all that, it's just like, why would you really want to cheer that? But that's what the fans were doing. And then this is one of the times that Vince listened to the fans.
Yeah.
And then afterwards didn't have Michael Cole talk enough shit to get the fans to turn off the television.
Yeah. It's a great point. All right, number 9. You ready?
Yeah. I thought you were going to me. It's like, no, you went first.
No. My number 9 is another guy who was like a blue chipper ready for success. And he did end up having some success. Not even some. He did pretty good in Mexico. But I'm talking over here, and I'm going Mark Jindrak at number 9.
Yeah.
Because when you go, we've all seen that documentary. We've all heard the stories, even though Batista tries to say it was never true. But Mark Jindrak was going to be an evolution. It was going to be him, Randy, Rick, and Triple H. And he was going to be set up for success. He was too immature. Triple H didn't like him. And, we ended up getting Batista instead, and the rest is history. Yeah. But Jindrak had an opportunity. And even before that, in WCW with the Natural Born Thrillers and all that, and being a part of that group and the New Blood, and he wasn't in the team, the Natural Born Thrillers, was he?
No, he was in the group.
Okay, he was in the group.
He was O'Hara's original partner.
Yes. He was very, he had some talent. He could go in the ring a little bit. And then even on SmackDown, when they tried that narcissist gimmick with him, they tried the Luger thing again.
Yeah.
The mirror and shit.
Then even Teddy Long was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, there was a couple times where it's like Mark Jindrak could have maybe did something and just never did. And he never really worked out. And he was always like a job guy or a lower mid-card guy. No one was ever really a Mark Jindrak fan. Not to be a dick, it's just the way. And I know he went to Mexico and he ended up kind of being a big star there. But for here and for, American television wrestling, Mark Jindrak's a huge bust.
Well, and I remember we went to a SmackDown house show in 2005, and it was Mark Jindrak versus Luther Reigns with Kurt Angle as the referee.
Oh, God.
And Jindrak won, and then Kurt Angle attacked him after. I don't think after he had the original match with Luther Reigns where he beat Reigns, I don't think, by the way, Luther, not as popular of a Reigns as Roman. I don't think that Jindrak really had much success after.
No, he never really, and he was set up for, and that's the thing. That's why he's a bust. Because he was set up for success a few times and it never paid off. Whether it was his fault or the booking, but I do think it was kind of his fault. And a lot of this comes from his words too. If you watch interviews with him, he'll say, I was young and immature.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it was. And Randy was too, but Randy had a lot more upside to where we could deal with Randy's. They didn't mind dealing with Randy's young and immatureness because they saw the gold mine that was going to come.
Yeah.
And Jindrak, they just didn't see it and it didn't work.
Well, and here's where I'll kind of stick up for Batista. Evolution was kind of going to get started, but then Batista and Randy Orton were clumsy and Orton broke his foot and Batista broke his tricep and Bubba Ray just pulled his back because he's fat. Bubba Ray Dudley, by the way.
He was going to be an Evolution?
No, it was a tag match. It was Orton and Batista versus the Dudleys, and Orton and Batista hurt themselves. They were gone for months. So they were already starting the Evolution group, but it hadn't necessarily been named yet. Orton comes back. They start thinking, all right, because they're going to bring Jindrak up to TV. So it's like, okay, we're going to do this thing now. And Vince is just like, God damn it, we need Evolution on TV, pal.
Yeah.
So they figured on Jindrak. And Triple H just they say it's young and immature. I think that Triple H just didn't want a WCW guy in his group, even though he had Flair. Flair he can deal with. I'm still going with the Jindrak was a WCW guy. Triple H was trying to bury WCW guys. That's why you didn't want him in there.
Okay.
But you can't really count Flair as like a WCW guy.
Well, that's
I mean-
what I'm saying is that, like, you know, most of the WCW and like ECW guys that like came over.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
He's an ultimate. I mean, NWA and NWA becomes WCW. Ric Flair is WCW. To me,
Yeah. I say Ric Flair's more global than just
wrestling.
WCW.
He's wrestling. Yeah, I
He's
get it.
wrestling.
Yeah.
So
There's some guys you can carry guys just WWE, just WCW who wrestled in different companies, but you can figure that he's a main WWE or WCW, ECW type of person, even though they wrestled in all different companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. My only pushback I'll give to you, Doug, is let's say it all goes. Let's say Triple H never says anything, and they do the vignettes where, you know. And by the way, Jindrak looked awful in that overcoat too, that oversized coat. But he agreed about Flair. Okay, then I agree too. But Jindrak, if they would have done Evolution with Jindrak, hey Dave, what's up? If they would have did Evolution with Jindrak instead of Batista, it wouldn't have worked as well.
yeah,
He wouldn't have been. I do not think that he would have. To me, like if we played through that alternate history, I don't think you have that big breakup and him and Triple H end up main WrestleMania, like they did with Batista.
I think, and to tell you the truth, I think this is a callback to 2K Sports. They need to do a what if scenarios in history.
Yeah.
What if?
I don't think 2K is going to bother making a Mark Jindrak character just to play out that scenario. Do the facial shit. I don't think they're going to do that.
You never know.
What's up, brother? It's good having you in here. And by the way, let's talk about the cartoon show a little bit. Take a little bit of intermission. We'll plug it early this week. What are you and Dave talking about tomorrow?
So tomorrow's battles. Oh God, I gotta look them up because I get the pre-recorded show and the live show always mixed up. Aw,
We appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot, man. We can wait till the end.
we're good. I just gotta click a button here. All right. So tomorrow we're gonna go on. We're gonna go on an hour earlier, 5 p.m. Eastern time, for the live show because you know, Dave's got family business to attend to.
Yeah.
So tomorrow on Animated Hour of Power, we have the Mighty Ducks animated series versus the Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Afro Samurai versus My Hero Academia. Yeah.
I love My Hero.
Yeah. I know you wanted My Hero. You actually were not happy with me when you didn't get it. Exo Squad versus Galaxy High. And the main event is Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Saturday AM. Eric, I already changed the time. It's good. So don't worry about that, Eric. I already took care of it. And then our main event is Sonic Saturday AM versus Super Mario Brothers Super Show. So the Sonic the Hedgehog with the good theme song takes on Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Should be a fucking bloody battle tomorrow. Check out the When Tunes Combined podcast.
Yeah. And the animated Hour of Power. And I will be in costume tomorrow night.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
That's always fun.
All right. So I want to go with my number 9. And I put Lars Sullivan on mine.
Yeah. That's actually good. I mean, fuck me, because I didn't go yet, but
Oh, I thought you went already. Oh, that's right. Mark Jindrak was Duncan Daniels. My bad.
yeah. No, if you want to talk about, I'll go after you.
Go ahead, Cleneth. Fuck Doug.
All right. Well, Doug took over the whole Mark Jindrak. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's just because I talk a lot. How long have we all done this show together?
Hey, it's different. Eric's not here, so yeah.
True, the vibes weird. Yeah, it's a little different.
We can blame Eric.
Yeah, it's Eric's fault. So who did you pick again?
Lars Sullivan.
That's it. Oh my God.
Great pick.
All right. And I say this because even though he had that big like turnout, big fearsome guy who winds up getting hurt in a 3-on-1 handicap match against what, the Luso House Party back in 20 and never been seen on what is it,
2019, right?
2019, 2020, or is it like post? Or I wasn't sure it was more pre or during or after the pandemic. But yeah, Lars Sullivan, and then after that, we never heard from him again. I know he has like he went through problems, depression, and all that other stuff, and it is what it is. But for a guy to be tailored to be the next big thing in wrestling and had a fallout, has to go into a bust category in my eyes.
100%.
I agree with that. I was wondering if I was wondering who was going to have him on their list.
That's a phenomenal pick because I remember, like, just like you, Clint, I remember them like, oh, this is the next monster. Like Braun Strowman,
The vignettes.
hold his beer. This guy's about to be a beast. But even before, when he was in NXT fucking kicking ass, there was a lot of talking. This guy's going to be a fucking huge deal. And he just never, and then like, I get it, the whole mental, and maybe, he had to get his mind right. And I can completely, respect and understand that. And I understand that shit goes down sometimes, but we never saw him again. Like you said, there was like, he was on the radar, like he's about to be something like a Braun Breaker even.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, he's gone. It's like, oh,
well, there was also extenuating circumstances.
He got in trouble. Too,
he got in trouble for saying this is where the internet could kill you.
Oh, he said stupid shit.
He said stupid stuff in a chat room, and he got reported.
Okay.
I don't know what he said, so we're not going to go there.
And there's a couple of idiots like that on my list. Logan Paul, I completely agree, Dave. I am so sick of everybody sucking that guy's dick. I am so sick of it.
Oh my God.
And I completely agree Logan Paul's a butt. He's maybe not a bust.
He's a pain in the ass.
He's the most
You can't call, all right, let's put it this way. You can't call Logan Paul a bust because of the success he's having as a part-time wrestler.
Yeah, but he's a part-time bust. He's not a bust, but he's the most overrated man.
As much as I can say I hate Logan Paul and I can't stand him, dude.
I fucking hate him.
I can't really put him in a bust category because he's successful with it. Let's put it that way. He's having success in the company. Like these are people. A bust to me is a failure.
I agree. He's not a bust. I think he's the most overrated man in the business right now, though. I think he's good and he's got solid heel work and he's got good facial expressions and everything. And he's very damn athletic. He can be a good heel, but I think they've only scratched the surface and they haven't really told like a really good, proper story with him. They've just done simple, douchey little heel things and just relied on his smackable face.
Dave's not big into the Paul brothers.
Both their fights are fake.
Yeah. Are we ready for my number 9?
At least Logan's going against. Well, Logan wrestled John Cena, so he's going against old folks too. So
yeah,
go ahead.
All right. So my number 9 is somebody he had success in WCW, but he gets to WWE, and unfortunately, the company finds out that his wife has more talent in her tits than this guy does in his, or more charisma in her tits than this guy apparently had in his entire body. Mark Merrow.
Oh, I thought you were going a couple different places with that.
Yeah.
Mark Merrow's a great pick.
And here's the thing. Cleneth, were you getting ready to yell at me?
No, I said that was good. And I'm like, ooh.
All right. So Mark Merrow, I love Johnny B. Bad. Okay. Johnny B. Bad was one of my favorite gimmicks in WCW.
Yeah.
Especially like I loved him, 95, 96.
Yeah, the Little Richard gimmick.
Yeah. And then like when he got that, here comes Johnny B. Bad, the theme song and all that, which you have said is overrated, and we will disagree till the end of time.
Who, me?
Yeah, you say you didn't like it.
Okay.
I said I liked it, and you looked at me like you usually do when I make a bad opinion. So
My fault.
But well, it's my fault for making bad opinions, I guess. So he leaves WCW because he wanted more money.
Booking man was underrated.
He wanted more money. Bischoff said, I can't pay you any more money because you've gone as high up in the card as your talent will take you.
Yeah.
So he goes to WWE, and he wanted to bring his wife on the road with him, which has always been a big mistake.
Yes.
And which, has kind of worked out for some guys. Like I know at the time, Davey Boy Smith, brought Diana out on the road with him a lot. But there's a difference. Sable was good looking. Diana looked like she should have been part of the Kennel Club. But he brings Sable on the road with him, and then they realize they're like, well, Sable's very talented. And when I say talented, I mean beautiful, because she was. Nowadays, age and Brock Lesnar is massively huge anyway, have taken their toll on her.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just mashed potatoes down there.
Jesus Christ. Mark Mero was definitely a bust. He wanted to have Macho Man and Elizabeth.
Yeah, he wanted that style of gimmick.
And unfortunately, he ended up with that style of relationship.
Yeah.
But, which, no offense to either party, because Macho Man and Elizabeth are still the king and queen of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But, that didn't work out, and neither did Sable and Mark Mero. And Sable ended up having the best boobs in the business. And when she painted hands on them, it, broke the internet back then at the start of it. And it broke TV. And that got some of the highest ratings, is her coming out looking sexy. And no one cared about Mark Mero and his stupid boxing gimmick.
Yeah.
So
he had to sit out the rest of his contract because Vince was just like, Vince was just like, all right, dude, like, you're not working. Your wife is like, just let your wife, make all the money for you.
Lesnar was a beast.
Yeah.
In the UFC. But also he was a beast when he was an amateur wrestler and an All-American and a real athletic background, as opposed to somebody that's just always wanted to be a wrestler. And I love pro wrestling to the day I die. And I even love CM Punk, but he never had a background in that, and trying to do that at 30-something,
Yeah.
Lesnar had the background and was already legitimate and tough. And then they're like, oh, you can punch people in the face too. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. And he was a beast. Until he met Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Yep, it's your turn.
Cleneth fucked me up with that.
Yes, it's your turn.
All right. Number 8. 10. All right. Number 8. This is my first female on the list. She is still currently wrestling, but I don't think her career will ever be the same. And I hate to bring outside and public perception into stuff, but to me, it's hard not to call her a bust. I have Tessa Blanchard.
You can tell she's a bust because she's been nowhere near this, or at least as far as I know, she's nowhere near this TNA NXT.
Well, yeah, NXT don't
thing.
want, because the big chant, and we don't try to talk about it, but they literally chant, "You're a racist." When that's your chant, and the people don't like her because she's been outed of being a bad person. And I don't like to talk about personalities on the show. I'm here for the entertainment and the wrestling and what's on the screen. But she really put herself in a lot of bad favor. Like Chelsea Green seems like a sweetheart. She fucking hates her. And a lot of people, turned on her. And it's not a good chant. And when she, and she can't really perform and do her craft without people chanting that at her. And that kind of means you failed in your career. Whereas you can't really apply your trade without people hating you. And you're expect I get it. Even if she's a bad guy, I get it. But that's not heel heat, man. That's get the fuck off my TV heat. And she's never been. There was a time where I heard her name as like, oh yeah, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha. But if you look over at TNA, Tessa Blanchard's doing some shit. Like when she beat that Sammy, or what was it, Sammy Callahan for the TNA World Title, she was firing on all cylinders.
And the thing with her, and you got to remember too, the bloodline she comes from. Tully was a pain in the ass to deal with back in the day too. Like there was a time where Crockett was having private meetings with the talent to ask, like, how do you feel about Dusty? And Tully, because they were confidential meetings, said, oh, Dusty's an idiot and all that, and he badmouthed them. Well, Jim Crockett went and told Dusty what Tully said, so Dusty's just like, all right, motherfucker. Like, they're getting ready to fly to the next show on the private plane, and he's like, fuck you, you're flying commercial.
That's funny. So
he kicks him off the private plane. And, Tully also, there was a story, he quit, when he was leaving and going back to the WWF, he didn't feel like working Survivor Series that day, so, he failed the drug test. Yeah. Because he just didn't feel like work. He didn't feel like working because him and Arn were leaving and going back to WCW anyway.
He seemed like a pain in the ass, and he was a Nepo baby, but she has been described as a locker room bully.
Yeah.
And she's seemed as a locker room like cancer that you don't want to work with. And like, she's just got a reputation, and she's one of those blackballed people. And to me, since she's never really going to be able to do the things that her talent warrants, she's a bust.
Yeah.
All right. Cleneth, let's keep you going next. What's your number 8?
Our number 8 is Nathan Jones.
You cocksucker.
Was he on your list?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric.
but you know what? It's actually cool because I actually had a couple other ones that I wanted to use.
You got alternates.
Yeah, I got alternates, so I'm not like you didn't take my number 1. At least you didn't do that.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought I could get number 1.
That's funny,
I think
Dave.
we probably all had the same number 1 to tell you the truth.
We might. And Dave, I don't blame you for not knowing who Nathan Jones was because that was a real flash in the pan, blink and you miss it. He did not last long. Cleneth, what do you got on Nathan Jones? That's a good pick.
All right. What makes him like one of the biggest busts is because of the big tag match heading into WrestleMania. It was 18, right? Well, Taker.
19.
19. Okay. 19.
2003, Dave.
Yeah. The big tag match of young promising rookie teaming with the opportunity of a lifetime and team with The Undertaker. But he was just so bad and awful that it had to make it to a handicap match. It was supposed to be him and Taker versus Big Show and A-Train in that tag team match. But he wasn't cutting it. It wasn't clear enough. It wound up being a handicap match with him just doing a pop-up at the end.
Yeah.
And we never hear from this guy again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he didn't have the passion famously. Like, and there might be a couple of those on all of our lists of he was homesick. He wanted to go home to Australia because he was from Australia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe somewhere else, but he wanted to go home. He wasn't doing the traveling. He wasn't having fun. He wanted to get out of there. And a lot of the times, even if you have all the talent in the world, if you just don't want it, that's going to be a result.
All right. I put in a different that was my number 6, by the way, but I put in a different one. But I have a feeling that he's going to be on Clinton's list too. So we'll see.
All right, who's your number 8, Doug?
Cesaro.
Cesaro's a bust?
In WWE?
Oh my God! Now at least, all right. I know you told me you were going to have some controversial ones.
That is a controversial to me.
And here's first of all, I think Claudio Castagnoli and AEW should go away. Like, get back on the boat and go to Switzerland. Cesaro in WWE, he was good in the tag team with Sheamus. Other than that, I didn't see it. It's like, oh, he's such a great wrestler and all that. Okay, cool. Yeah, his matches are decent. I thought they were mediocre at best. I never saw the talent.
Sharon agrees.
Yeah, Sharon agrees. So
I certainly think now it's like the bloom's off the rose. I don't think there's anything to be done with him now.
And the bloom is not only off the rose, but the rose is rotted. Okay, like this guy he's a bum. Just like the rest of that group. He just, to me, I never got it. Like the whole tag team in Ring of Honor with Claudio he was Claudio. With Chris, I'll always be your fat hero.
The world needs fat heroes. Look at us.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite fat hero is John Economos. But yeah, I never got him.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like my first controversial one. I'm sure. I think Eric's probably rolling over right now, being like, "You picked Cesaro."
Well, and I think he had enough good stuff in WWE.
To tell you the truth, I think he's more of a bust in AEW than I would say in WWE.
I agree.
I think I just never.
I don't see him as a WWE bust. AEW, I see it all the way.
Well, the company saw him as a bust, or else they would have fucking pushed him.
I think it's what you know how Vince is. Vince favors people. It's a different.
Yeah. And Vince didn't like him. I mean, remember he went on Stone Cold's podcast and said, "Look, this guy just isn't doing it for anybody." And then that killed him.
Yeah. He just said he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
All right. My turn again?
Yeah.
Number 7.
Dave thinks Roman Reigns is the biggest bust.
Yo, now it's the tribal chief.
Oh yeah, I don't
preach, Cleneth.
With this.
Preach.
My number 7 is a man that had an infinity for poetry and a hatred of caskets. I'm going with Heidenreich.
Heidenreich. It
was a damn catchy theme song. When your biggest, accomplishment and the most thing you're known for is making Michael Cole very uncomfortable backstage, and really being creepy with Michael Cole and holding him against a wall and shit. That's not a good sign. This man feuded with The Undertaker and nobody gave a shit. And he's one of those big giants that they we're going to do something, we're going to have a big giant heel for Undertaker. And Heidenreich just never really got the business. He was never that good. He couldn't really go in the ring. They tried the Legion of Doom thing with Animal and to bring that back, and it just didn't work. And nothing it seemed like he wanted it, but he never really got it together. And I don't think he was ever really a part of anything over.
Right.
I enjoyed Kane and Snitsky more than I did Taker and Heidenreich around that time.
Yeah.
And Snitsky's another one that could be considered a bust, but I think he was sort of entertaining. Heidenreich, I really think missed the mark on many levels.
Well, and the thing is, too, is that they at one point were planning on Kane and Undertaker versus Heidenreich and Snitsky for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then they ended the feud between Kane and Snitsky in a cage match. And they figured, all right, that feud is dead. And then they tried to reignite it on an episode of Raw, and the fans were just like, oh, my God, we've seen this enough. Stop.
How many babies is he going to kick?
Yeah.
All right. Cleneth, you're number 7.
At number 7, I want to go with Scott Steiner's WWE run.
Oh, that's a good pick.
This I agree with this, to be honest.
Yeah, because Scott coming from WCW, we all know the whole story of why the big stars were made, and Scott Steiner in WCW, and even was a big star, former champion, a big heel. But when they brought him into as a babyface in WWE was number one a mistake. The matches, and then to make him a Roman as a big star to feud with Triple H for the world title. That knocked off Triple H did what Triple H does, and then buried WCW talent. And the match he put on with Triple H both times, they were just that awful to the point that he was reduced down to a mid-card talent after that.
I agree, Sharon. He didn't really work as a babyface. I think he was sort of fun, and it was kind of fun to cheer him, but I can agree with that.
Yeah. And you got to remember, too, like Scott, he had that nerve damage, the gout in his foot.
That's what I was going to say, was he was on one foot for that whole run, and he could barely work. So as far as putting on a good match, he just wasn't physically able to.
Yeah. Like it is very hard to... Yeah, it is very hard to work when when you're really on one foot.
Yeah.
So it didn't work for him. But I mean, and even when they tried to turn him heel and they teamed him with Test, it's just like, all right, like you're grasping at straws here.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the last straw because they really gave up on him, if you ask me.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'll agree with here. I don't really see it when Jindrak is, Triple H buried another WCW guy, but Scott Steiner was definitely the case.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, oh, it's me.
Yeah, number 7.
All right, so this one, even like I want to smack myself in the face for, but because I actually like this guy.
Yeah.
But there have been instances where he has just failed, and a lot of that had to do with, unfortunately, he is in a company with people that just did not like him.
Yeah. Bam
Bam Bigelow.
Ooh.
Okay, he comes in the WWF in '87, and he he comes in, a lot of hype, who's going to manage Bam Bam Bigelow? And they bring in Oliver Humperdinck, which was actually a good fit. And making Bam Bam a babyface with Hump as the babyface manager, which Hump was good at.
Yeah.
And so he, so it worked. The problem is that you tried to be athletic in a match with Andre the Giant.
It's fixed.
Yeah. So, you try to be athletic in a match with Andre the Giant, and it's just like, and Andre's just like, no, boss, no athleticism in the ring with me. And then fucking, Andre's just like, he's not gonna work. So he didn't. And then they bring him back in 93, and then like they start to really push him in 95, and he gets the rub by kind of hanging out with Diesel. But, Shawn Michaels was a prick back then. And Shawn pissed Bam Bam off. Bam Bam retaliated. So the rest of the cliques is like, all right, this fucker's got to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily his fault or if it's just more the fault of, there were guys, and I'm not going to call Andre the Giant an asshole because his ghost might fucking come and sit on me later. But, and if he farts on me, then we're all screwed. The house will shake. But like it didn't, and then the WCW run was just like in the hardcore division, it's just like, all right, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, I disagree. He main evented a WrestleMania.
Yeah, the worst WrestleMania.
He worked Lawrence Taylor, for God's sakes. All right. My number 6, my other lady on my list, I have one Lacey Evans.
Oh, yeah. And this is one of those that Vince really wanted it to work.
Yeah. And it just didn't. She just didn't have it. And he wanted her to be with Becky and her to be with the top girls. And he really wanted her to, be a top heel. And she just didn't work, When she would come out in the dresses, the pretty dresses or whatever, it was sort of fun at first. But she just was bad in the ring. And when you had her and Baron Corbin together, it was like the
I
ultimate.
think that ruined it. It ruined it.
Yeah, that's what it was like. This is like the worst thing ever. I want anything else besides this. And she just never really got it. And now she's not even in the business. And she stated since that she didn't really have the passion for it.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a bust. She had potential and the company was behind her, but she just couldn't really get it together. So, Lacey Evans.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that like when they rebranded her and, said they were, because they had her learn how to do the Cobra Clutch, which apparently, upset Sergeant Slaughter and his daughter, even though Sergeant Slaughter, I think, was part of the vignettes, wasn't he?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Cleneth, was Sergeant Slaughter part of those vignettes with Lacey Evans where she was learning the clutch?
I do not remember, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Because I feel like he was, but Sergeant's daughter just didn't she started. And then I remember Lacey going back on Twitter and being like, he's your father, but he's my hero. And it's just he's your hero because you're from the same hometown and they told you that, he's got to be here. She probably can't. She probably couldn't even spell Slaughter.
Yeah.
Or
Name
even
5
the
matches.
Yeah. Fuck. She just didn't, her head just wasn't in it.
Yeah. All right, Cleneth, you're number 6. Cleneth,
you're up.
All right. So, sorry, my phone froze.
Okay.
So, my number 6 will be Taz's WWE run. Because this man came in, fresh from ECW, put on a good first debut in the Royal Rumble against Kurt Angle, and afterwards did absolutely nothing and was reduced to not his old self, not the Taz that I was expecting from ECW. This man was a mid-carder. I mean, I wouldn't even say mid-carder. Even the stuff he did with Spike Dudley and winning the tag team titles for that one stint wasn't even that good to me. It's a big ECW name, champion. Could have been big name, and they just totally buried him once he came to the WWE.
Do you blame it all on them?
I don't see. I blame it more to the point that they didn't want to push outside the outsiders. Even though ECW going out of business, people wants to come in there. I think I was more. If you think about it, I'm more surprised the Dudley Boys got so much respect going to WWE. I think it's the only ECW, the Dudley Boys, and maybe RVD. I'll say maybe RVD as well.
Well, yeah.
Those are the only.
Yeah.
Those are the only three people I can think of that got just deserves in WWE compared to anybody else. You look at the Sandman. You look at Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
They were like mid-card jobbers type things once
Raven?
they crossed over. Raven, yes.
All right,
As
so
well.
here's Bruce Pritchard's explanation, because they did an episode years ago on Taz.
Yeah.
And Bruce Pritchard basically said that they told Taz when he came in, especially like how like he knocked Kurt Angle out like in the match.
Yeah.
They basically said they're like, you got to change your style. Like you're reckless. Like you almost killed the guy. Which I don't know if he almost killed him, but like you got to switch things up. And Taz said no.
Yeah.
So I think it was because he didn't want to change his style to where they're just like, all right, well, fuck you.
Yeah. Also, that was a claustrophobic main event scene when he came in 2000. And then you go into 2001. Like, is he going to be in the main event with Austin, Rock, Triple H, Mankind, Kane, Undertaker? Like, I like Taz, and Taz was great in ECW, and he was great as a top guy there. But to bring him into WWE and have him just beat everybody, I don't know if that would have been the way anyway.
Right.
So
I wouldn't say he needed him to beat everybody, but you don't make him have a good debut against Kurt Angle, who was at the time coming up as the Olympic gold medalist,
yeah.
and then afterwards make him into like a jobber type of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He took away Angle's undefeated streak.
Yeah. Well, then they gave it back to him, though.
Yeah, but it was still technically gone.
Yeah.
All right. Doug?
All right. So I had to switch this. I had Nathan Jones.
Yes.
But now I've got Jason Jordan.
That's pretty good.
Well, I didn't hear Cleneth go fuck, so I didn't know if.
No. I didn't have Jason because I don't really look at Jason Jordan as a bust. I just think it was more of like a sad ending to a career. Let's put it that way.
Well, and the thing is that like if he didn't have the neck issues, who knows what would have happened? But he couldn't get over like this whole Kurt Angle's son thing. Everybody's just like, this is so stupid.
Well, I don't blame that. I blame the writing. You have to blame the writing on that.
Well, yeah.
It was terrible writing.
It's
Vincent's worst that around that time.
The thing that got me about
it's Vince giving everybody reason to try to think of a way to get him out.
Yeah. So yeah, Jason Jordan is I mean, it's a good pick because he never really did anything, and you could tell they wanted to by putting him with Seth and shit.
Yeah,
but he just never really got there, and then he got hurt. But he's been a producer with them for years, so he does something right behind the scenes.
Well, I think that was just one of those. All right, we need to make sure this guy has a job, and you know he does a very good job.
He seems to be respected within the company, so I think he's doing something right.
Yeah,
and he looked pretty into the shit on Unreal.
Oh yeah. So
all right, number 5. You ready?
Yeah.
I have the other Nepo baby that I was alluding to earlier, another son that could just not follow in his father's footsteps. Cowboy Bill Watts' boy, Eric Watts.
Oh, man.
He is like the guy you point to when you're like, yeah, the kid sometimes just doesn't have it. And they really wanted him to have it, and he just didn't have it. I remember WCW gave him Rookie of the Year one year, and it's like, why? And he just
when he was only there for like a month,
and he just wasn't over. And then he was a part of Techno Team 2000 in the WWE, which is one of the most shitty and never like they had 2 matches. So he just never got over, and he never really showed the ability to get over. And then when he went to TNA and he had that match with the Raven that we watched, that was complete ass cheeks.
Oh yeah. And, he was the director of Authority for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
didn't work.
No.
And he kind of sucked. So sorry, Eric Watts, but it was never for him.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5. We're halfway there.
Yeah.
Whoa!
All right, Cleneth.
All right, I'm going to go with Karma. Awesome Kong in WWE.
I had her on my list, but I had to take her off to get somebody to put somebody else on.
Thank God you did.
Yeah. I think Karma was more like someone you thought that was going to be good. And then once she pulled the whole I was pregnant type of thing and never came back, was very disappointing. Because I was really looking forward to seeing Karma after watching her in TNA and her matches against Gail Kim. She really made that knockout division, her and Gail Kim.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, okay, Doug, I want to hear your readings about why she was on your list.
All right. So, and by the way, she did try to come back in 2012. She was part of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. She left because she was pregnant. And unfortunately, horrible end to the pregnancy. When she gave birth, the baby didn't make it. So that's unfortunate. And
I thought it was just a miscarriage, not like she gave birth. I thought she just had a miscarriage.
Well, here's what I had heard. I had heard that when she gave birth, the baby actually got strangled by the umbilical cord.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I had heard. I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but like it was very tragic. But then they wanted her back for the Rumble, and her head just wasn't in it. But she was such a force in TNA. And by the way, her TNA run, her first run, ended because Bubba the Love Sponge is a racist jackass. All right. But because, he had Hulk Hogan's balls in his mouth, he got to say whatever the fuck he wanted. And, when Awesome Kong beat the shit out of him, which if somebody's got a tape of that, please send it.
Yeah.
But because, he's Hogan's boy, Awesome Kong had to be fired. And so like her run ended like way too soon. Cause if she would have stayed in TNA, and she has gone back a few times, but as far as her being a bust in WWE, I don't necessarily think it was her fault. I think it was just her head wasn't in it after the failed pregnancy.
They didn't do anything with her after the Rumble, right?
No, they did. Because I think she just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I think it was her decision to leave.
Yeah.
Because that little run she had when she was scared, I remember Kelly's face. She looked terrified.
Yeah.
And all the girls looked really scared. And she was starting to build a little run.
Yeah.
But, understandable. All right, Doug.
All right, so this one is a WCW one, number 5. And I was a fan of this guy when I was a kid. Watching him now, I realized that I was extremely stupid. Heavy Metal Van Hammer.
Oh, my God.
All right. This guy, and Cleneth, I know you don't know who this is. Or at least I don't think you do.
I do not know who this is. You're right. I want to hear it.
All right. This guy was brought in. He was brought in by Dusty Rhodes. He had only had like one professional match when Dusty found him.
Yeah.
And so Dusty brings him in, and he's kind of hyping him up like the Ultimate Warrior. Like, this is Dusty's answer to the Ultimate Warrior. And this guy, like, he's a heavy metal star. The kids love him. He's got the young fan base. But he gets brought in, and he was a good friend of Mark Mero. Him and Mark Mero. Mark Mero used to say that they used to do stuff together all the time, ride together, do drugs together, all that stuff. And Van Hammer gets brought in, and his first match in the company, he squashes Terrence Taylor in 90 seconds. Okay. And so as he does that, he does that, and then they push him for a little bit, and the boys in the back hated his guts. Like, he had the guitar that he would swing around. They put as a rib because they didn't like the fact that he was taking like other babyfaces spots. Because again, Dusty was trying to push him to the top. They put Vaseline on his guitar strap. So when he spun it around like he's supposed to, and it's supposed to come back, it spun and it slid. And the the pointy part of the guitar, the end of the guitar, caught him in the eye.
Damn.
They hated this fucker. And the thing is, he wasn't any good. And they give him a match. He's going to wrestle Halloween Havoc 91. He's going to wrestle Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes is just like, So he fakes an injury to get out of it. They bring in Doug Summers. And Van Hammer comes in for the match.
I like Doug Summers.
I did too. And Van Hammer comes in for the match, and Jim Ross is just like, he's getting quite the ovation. Everybody, there's a lot of young fans standing. They were anxiously awaiting this man. He wasn't getting any cheers. Okay. And he does the match, and when he throws Summers into the turnbuckle, Summers almost like, his head whipped all the way back.
Yeah.
And then he did the slingshot suplex as his finisher. He almost dropped Doug Summers again on his head. So Doug Summers was like, fuck you, I'm kicking out of your move. So he kicks out of the move, but the referee counts 3 anyway. So the match sucked. And then like upper management that wasn't Dusty was just like, all right, yeah, this guy blows. But still, then even Watts for some reason felt like this guy should get pushed.
Yeah.
And then he gets, even more main event spots. He's teaming with Sting. He's teaming with Ron Simmons. Like, he won the Jesse the Body Ventura arm wrestling contest in 92. And he's going to get this big push. Then he tears his bicep. And then afterwards, Bischoff takes over. And Bischoff's just like, yeah, this guy blows. So he does a 35-second job to Sid, and then he's done. And that was the end of it. And then, he would come back, years later and be part of the flock and do the tie-dye thing and all that.
That shit sucked too.
Yeah. He never.
That was his whole career, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he was part of the Misfits in Action, and they had him as a private stash, but he didn't want to be ranked lower than. He didn't want to be ranked lower than Hugh Morris, so they had to make him in the major stash. But again, it didn't work because they found him to be more trouble than what he's worth. So that's basically Heavy Metal Van Hammer's career in a nutshell.
Oh, yeah. All right. My number 4, gentlemen. And we talked about this man last week, and that's what kind of made me want to do this. Wildcat Chris Harris. Because he truly was a bust, and it's kind of the theme with Cleneth's list, because he was great in TNA. He was not a bust in TNA.
Right.
Even though they really wanted to make him a world champion, and it never really happened, he was not a bust. He was really good in
that
TNA.
was more the NWA board of directors saying he's not holding our title.
Yeah, he was good, and I really liked him. By the time he gets to WWE, though, and he's Braden Walker, and he got chubby, and like you said, he had the Cassius Ohno diet plan.
Yeah,
and he was,
which I do follow too myself.
And he was no charisma. And Bruce Pritchard tells a story on his podcast to him too, and having to shoot that like a vignettes with him, and how hard it was for him to be entertaining and not fuck up his lines and all that shit. And it took him like hours on hours because he was so bad at it. And I get being nervous and being in the big leagues and stuff, but he just, like, they put him on ECW and he flopped there.
Yeah,
he had like one match. He looked sloppy. The match didn't look that great. He just, everything that was good about him wasn't when he went to WWE. So he completely flopped. It's not even like it's a bust in every sense of the word. He could be number 1 because he's just and I was a fan, and I do think he should have made it, but he didn't, and it was pretty much his own fault. So Chris Harris is a bust. All right, Cleneth, number 4.
I want to go with DDP, WWE's run as well.
The Stalker?
The Stalker. I think when this is another one, he falls into the Scott Steiner category, if you ask me. Because DDP, you see him in WCW, amazing top stars in WCW. But once he came to WWE and they make him into the stalker and this crazy, unfulfilling guy who does absolutely nothing until he just buries his character like he's not good. He can't be a main eventer in WWE. It's just totally just like oblivious.
Yeah.
I have an interesting thing on the stalker thing because as a kid, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked the but I was a kid, Cleneth. Give me a break.
Well, I enjoyed it. No, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it too because at the time I didn't. Before I found out it was him, I enjoyed every 1 minute of it.
I didn't watch much WCW as a kid. Like kind of like you, like I grew up. I mean, I was getting into it by like 8 or 9. I would watch your tapes and stuff.
Yeah, because I had a bunch of tapes of it.
But before that, I watched 2001 tapes, and so DDP, my introduction to him was the Stalker, and I thought he was a cool character, and I thought he was doing some cool, like crazy shit, and I thought he was really like pushing the boundaries, like that little room he had with all the pictures and Sarah and the way and bringing Canyon into it.
Yeah,
I love that from SummerSlam, even though they got their fucking asses kicked. I thought it was completely fantastic. So DDP is, I can understand though, because if you and me, Cleneth, were watching WCW live and we're watching him diamond cutter motherfuckers and watching him be the people's champion there, you would want him to come here, diamond cut motherfuckers, and go against Triple H and shit. Because he was going against Hogan in the NWO. Like it was Goldberg against them, but it was DDP.
Yeah.
He was,
and don't forget about that match he had against Macho Man.
Oh, that's one of the greatest rivalries of all time.
Yeah, it's what got him over.
So, yeah, DDP. I can see. I totally understand that one. Even though I kind of thought it was a fun run.
Yeah,
but to me, I thought the Stalker stuff was better than the motivational. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That shit was stupid.
That was a funny thing, but it just killed the character altogether.
Yeah.
I mean, the man got beat by a woman, by the Undertaker's ex-wife.
I'm happy he got his WrestleMania win, though, when he got to beat Christian. In front of
I was there.
Yeah.
Me next?
Yep.
Yeah, Cleneth said DDP.
Okay. Damian Sandow.
Ooh. See, this is a good one, and this is your pick, so I'll shut up. But I will say this first. He was better in WWE than he was in TNA. He kind of like he's an interesting pick because he busted after the big leagues. Like he sucked in the independents.
Yeah. Like when he went and he was doing the thing in TNA, obviously is Aaron Stevens, which I believe is actually his real name. He was, but like in because a lot of him not getting pushed in WWE, that's not his fault.
Well, before he was Aaron Stevens, wasn't he something else?
He was Idol Stevens.
Didn't he do a Liberace thing?
Yeah. But he was in in WWE, he did the whole, intellectual savior of the masses or whatever it was, or the unwashed masses. And the gimmick was kind of getting over, but then it's just like they halted it. Then they made him Miz's stunt double, which, him and Miz look exactly alike.
That shit was great, though.
Yeah, it was.
I loved it, though, man. Damian Miz
loved it. That was over. That was over. That was a moment in time where people talk about that stuff.
Yeah. And then, like, they do the thing where he's impersonating Macho Man, and him and Curtis Axel are going to impersonate the Mega Powers. But then Hogan gets busted for the rant, so they have to take Curtis Axel off TV. So that meant they had to take both of them off.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And it's just like, so him busting, I don't think was his fault.
I do. I think he never had it. The stunt double shit was funny, but anybody could have done it, in my opinion. It was funny, but in the way, and him and Miz did make it really work, and it was good stuff from him. But like I said, when he went to TNA, I thought that run was pretty bad. And
So,
I, go
so
ahead.
are you saying he's more of a bust in TNA and WWE, or just all together? Because to me, I think WWE, he
Yeah.
doesn't seem like more of a bust, even though you had the stuff he did with the Miz, the stuff he did with Cody Rhodes as a tag team with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I think he did more. That I agree. I think he did more in WWE than he did in. That he's like the one guy. We haven't addressed this, so we haven't like ran into this so far. Usually, it's they're good at TNA or good somewhere else, and then they suck at WWE. This is the opposite. He was good in the big leagues when he was there for a little bit, but then when it didn't work out and he left and he went to TNA, he didn't do what Drew did around the same time.
Yeah.
And they had matches together and shit, but Drew got progressively better and better and better, and he kind of just stayed the same. And that's a bust.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Number 3.
Number 3, and this is my final 3 or two of my favorites. The next 2 are a little more modern. This one's another ruthless aggression guy, kind of. Orlando Jordan.
Oh, man.
Because, oh my God, did he just never get it? And he got to work with some really talented guys. Like he had matches with some really, like, because he was in the SmackDown era where they still had some really good guys.
Yeah.
So he got to have like singles feuds with some good wrestlers. And then he goes on to TNA and does the flamboyant thing. And it was kind of like different, and it was starting to get, but it ended up just cringy as hell.
For your friend.
And some cringy bad stuff.
You can't.
Why?
So Orlando Jordan, he just, and in the ring when he would have matches with those really good guys, he would have like not that great matches with them.
Right.
Like I remember like seeing him in Benoit, and he like was making Benoit look kind of sloppy.
Right. Well, that's when they were doing the 35-second matches too.
Well, no, they had a long match though.
Oh, yeah, they had one. I think.
They had a pay-per-view, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, Great American Bash, which was in Buffalo.
Yeah. And I don't remember that being very good. But him being with JBL was kind of his only little claim to fame. But that was even like he's just like kind of one of JBL's lackeys.
Yeah.
To me, he just never worked out. And he's another one. He went to TNA, and I thought he was kind of worse. He never had. To me, he never had anything. I mean, it seemed like he had a good look. He had a good look at first.
Yeah, he did.
And it seemed like he could do some shit. But his in-ring work never really caught up. All right, Cleneth.
All right. So my number 3 is a WCW guy. His name is Glacier.
Oh, boy. We could do a whole episode on this.
I mean, you talk about a guy who was nothing, and it had it just wasn't there. And this is when WCW was hot too, and he just didn't have it in my eyes, and I didn't see it. It built him up to be this like snow angel or snow warrior, and it's just wasn't it.
Well, he was based on Mortal Kombat.
Well, that's what Eric Bischoff found Mortal Kombat. And then that's what made that dude's little career. It was like, and when he showed up in the one AEW Battle Royal, I was like, God bless him. But I agree. He never, I don't think he was really going to be anything anyway. But the Mortal Kombat shit and him going against Canyon dressed in some shit too. It just, that was cringy.
Yeah.
Bischoff thought that was a great idea.
Yeah.
The entrance was sort of cool at first, though.
At first it was, yeah. But I remember like they're getting ready. Conrad and Bischoff were going to talk about it on an episode once, and Bischoff just goes, oh, and it's just like, oh yeah, like that makes it so much better.
Absolutely. All right, Doug, go ahead.
Yeah. Here's just like, let's just hurry this along. Dr. Death Steve Williams is my number 3.
For the WWE run?
For the WWE run. He got knocked out in Brawl for All. He got brought in. I don't give a fuck what double chin Jim Ross has to fucking say. You punished Bart Gunn for knocking out your boy Dr. Death. Now, Dr. Death got hurt. I understand that, but this was a shoot fight tournament. And, you brought in, you wanted Doc to win. He didn't. He got his ass whooped.
How's that? I mean, that's not totally JR's fault, though, because Russo was bucking the shit. And if he wanted to make, and he didn't like JR, so if he really wanted to make Bart a star, he could have wrote some shit for him.
Yeah. I'll get to Bart more in a little bit, my next turn. And
that's a giveaway.
Yeah. So
just gave up his number 2.
Yeah. But like the whole thing, and then Doc, they tried to bring him back and it didn't work. And then he went to WCW and helped make fun of Jim Ross because he was just pissed at JR for because he blamed him for him getting released. Yeah. And it's just like, you ruined your career. Like, you had a really good career in the territories. It didn't work out in the WWF, which, it happens. But then you fucking sink it in the toilet just because you want to help Russo make fun of Jim Ross.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Because JR was loyal to him and that was his boy. And he always tried to, whenever they were in meetings, Bruce, like Pritchard talks about, and a few people talking, he'd always be like, hey, Dr. Death.
Yeah.
Steve Williams, let's bring him in. He can beat Steve Austin. He wanted, they were going to do Steve Austin and Dr. Death, and JR was a huge proponent of that. And Dr. Death, and that's one of those things that he signed up for pro wrestling and he was brought in to do a big angle. He wasn't brought in to be an MMA fighter. Right. So he did get fucked over a little bit. But and I understand Bart, there's nothing wrong when they tell Bart to go fight. He's got everywhere to go fight. But Dr. Death, he decided to have a career in sports entertainment, not his career in mixed martial arts.
Right, exactly.
So the fact they put him in a shoot fight, it's it's not his fault. He really got exposed. He didn't ask for this shit.
Right.
It's because Russo wanted to be real, bro. It's got to be real. But all right, my turn.
Yeah.
My number 2 and my top 2 are both gentlemen that had all the talent in the world and all the support in the world and just fucked it up with all sorts of attitude issues and just kind of being unprofessional. And that's kind of the vibe of my next 2 picks. One's AEW, one's WWE. My number 2 is Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, who, by the way, is the one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions right now.
Yeah, but that don't mean a goddamn. I mean, it means a little bit, and I love Dustin Rhodes. So, but
Dustin's hurt, so he's a heel now with Roosh.
Oh yeah, but
butts and seats.
He had all the talent in the world, and when AEW launched, he was one of the 4 pillars, and he was one of the guys at least Jack Perry, a lot of people would try to put him on the list, but at least he's tried to do some things. And he hasn't, he screwed up one time, backstage. But besides that, he has really tried to, keep his character good and keep evolving as a character. Sammy Guevara had all the talent in the world and he had all the support. And this is a guy, I'm calling him a bust, and he's gotten huge cheers as a babyface, and he's gotten huge boos as a heel. He's done his job tremendously, really athletic moves, he's got the douchey face as a heel you want to smack, and he's probably one of my favorite cutters of all time is still that one to Cody off the ladder in that match.
Yeah.
He does unbelievable flips, and he was primed to be a star for AEW, and it just didn't work out because he's always fucking up. He's been suspended how many times, And like the one from comments years ago, whatever, you can chalk that. All right, let's move forward, and you could still be. But then when you're like hurting Jeff Hardy and you're doing all sorts of shit and you're acting like a dick, and he kind of fucked up his opportunities, and now he's a non-factor on AEW television, really, and he's not really like he's not somebody that you could tell Tony Khan has lost his faith in Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You
Absolutely.
can really tell that. You can tell that he's kind of like done with him, and he's like sick of, because at the beginning it seemed like Sammy was primed for stardom, and the way Darby's still featured, Sammy was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But he fucked that up. So he's the least successful pillar out of the four. It goes MJF, Darby,
And then,
Sammy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, I can see the way you put it. I can see. I wouldn't think of it. I would think of him now. He is. Beginning wise, I'm like, I was trying to see where you was going with that because I was kind of shocked to put him on. But now noticing how he haven't done anything or seen anything on TV, I agree with you. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I do agree.
He's an active wrestler that he's always on the first or second match. He's usually on Ring of Honor, and they don't even have a TV deal. So he's a non-factor, and he's somebody that was like going to be primed for the main event slot. So to me, he's a huge bust. And because you always heard reports about him and shit and backstage bullshit, and then he just he's never around. So he's definitely a bust. And when he is around, he hasn't been in the main event in a long time.
Right.
And those early Dynamites, I think he did main event a little, and the Inner Circle shit like that. He's pivotal to those first few years, but now he's the least successful pillar. MJF is main evented a fucking 80,000 people.
Right.
thing.
Exactly.
Darby Allin's even still done his thing.
Yeah.
All right, Cleneth, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Cain Velasquez.
Oh boy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, this is the guy who was I think that he was only brought in to me to be Brock Lesnar's punching bag for Brock Lesnar who wanted to get revenge for someone who knocked him out in UFC. I figured when you go to UFC, you want to do a storyline, you bring your biggest rival for a guy. Because WWE is more story event, you're going to get what you want. You're going to make yourself look good. You're going into what? Jeddah, the Jeddah big money fight. This is all for the money, not for titles. Because the match itself, when you got there at Crown Jewel, it was totally awful. It wasn't. It was a shoot in the MMA fight. Who Brock Lesnar just got the pin just to say, I got my lick back.
Yeah.
And I think Cain Velasquez was like working on a bum knee too.
Poor Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. But no, I could. I mean, and now he's on trial for murder, isn't he?
No. That whole thing is. I think he's home now. I haven't read in the story for a long time, but there was something like some dude was abusing his kid or something, and he apparently I think he's in the right in that situation when he was in a scuffle with the law.
Okay,
he was objectively right. I think, but I could be wrong. But he's done lucha matches since.
Yeah,
but he. In WWE, he didn't work. That shoot fight match was god awful. To do a fake wrestling match just for Brock to get his win back is insane.
Right.
All right, Doug.
Bart Gunn.
Who would have thought?
He was a bust. I mean, and again, he did what he was asked to do. He was asked to be in this tournament. He wins Brawl for All, but then everybody justifies it like, oh well, he's not. He's not main event material. And I still think he was getting punished for, he got punished for winning the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, he was already floundering, because they felt like Billy was the better gun. Is what it is. But I felt like he got a raw deal, and I blame Black Hat Double Chin.
And their best idea was having him get his ass kicked by Butterbean.
Yeah. Which sucked, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
I figured that's the only reason why they brought Butterbean in there, just for him. I'll just tell you too, I like the Brawl for All.
Oh my god!
For some strange reason, I loved it. I like the fact that they was bringing boxing into it because I was starting to get into boxing. That's what it was. I was starting to get into boxing a little bit, and when I saw them do the Brawl for All, I said, I'm liking this."
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The WWE guys were just so uncoordinated.
Yeah, they're just like, what the fuck? So, Bart got a raw deal. And what's funny is Butterbean has gone on and said that when they called him, they said, "Hey, look, we have this asshole who won the Brawl for All. We didn't like the fact that he won the Brawl for All, so come and make him your bitch." Like those words were out of Butterbean's mouth.
Well, that's what happened. All right. Number 1.
Yep.
Drum roll.
Do we do Duck number 2?
Yeah.
It was Bart Gunn.
Oh, Bucky. Yeah, never mind. I'm thinking. Okay, never mind.
What are we all drunk?
Yeah.
After a certain time, we got SmackDown in 4 minutes. Jesus. My number 1 is another guy who just can't shut up and kind of fucked up all his opportunities. Matt Riddle.
Oh God.
I think he's the ultimate case of he had it all. With the bro, it was all over. The tag team with Randy, people loved it. He was like remember watching SmackDown just a few years ago, and I was talking on the podcast like, oh, it's Riddle and Roman tonight for the title, and now he's like just a dipshit and just won't shut up about people in like both companies, and he's blackballed himself pretty much just because he can't shut up, and he's just why did he get fired again?
Cocaine.
Yeah, and he just can't stay off the sauce. So he's a case of he had all the potential in the world and he was really going to be something, and now he just has to be the MLW World Champion. And no offense to MLW, but it's not quite as prestigious.
No, not at all.
The big two won't touch him, and that makes him a bust.
Yeah,
especially when he was fighting the big dog for the world title. So big bust.
Yeah.
All right, Cleneth, you're number 1.
Gable Stevenson.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That was actually said in the Wrestling Through the Years group. Somebody brought him up.
That's fair.
Gable Stevenson, I think it was brought out to be Kurt Angle 2.0, was made to be the next Kurt Angle. But after one match, was never seen again. A lot of vignettes he was showing up to NXT pay-per-views. Had one match against Baron Corbin that didn't go well, and then after that they pulled the plug right away.
Yeah, when the fans started chanting for Corbin, it's just like, this guy's not gonna work.
Well, can you really blame that on him, or can you just blame that on to the fact that he was booking, or the fact that you just throw him onto the main roster and not do what anybody else do and let him start out in NXT?
Well, yeah, because he got drafted like 3rd or something like that, right?
Yeah, first to Raw. He didn't even go to like the NXT to learn. Probably did like the warehouse stuff, but the NXT gym work, but not actually the NXT program.
Wasn't he training for like 2 years though? I
don't
remember
know.
him signing and training for a while.
But I'll still say if you put it all right, let's put it this way. They put a guy like Samoa Joe. I would never thought Samoa Joe would have to go to NXT for 2 years before getting a call up to the main roster. The guy who ripped apart TNA.
Yeah.
They put him in NXT.
I agree. He could have used a few years in NXT. 100%.
Yeah.
And then he failed at football too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was going to play defensive end for the Bills.
And it didn't work out.
Yeah. It was a bad idea.
That's why I feel bad for amateur wrestlers after the Olympics. But yeah, it's a good number one. Who do you got? Ironically enough,
Baron Corbin. He's a bum. He's a bum. He's an idiot. Here's the thing. This is how you could tell Vince McMahon was losing his fucking mind. Like, he was failing. Fans didn't want him. Oh, the fans hate him, pal. That means we got to push him. And it's just like, yeah, you're pushing him up our asses when we're trying to poop him out. Like, you senile, old, stupid fuck. He's not over. And then it's funny. He made it, because he's on Busted Open now because Dave LaGreca is just as stupid. And
I like some of his takes. Though.
Well, Corbin's or LaGreca's?
Corbin. I've heard him talk on there. In the
There's
there's a lot of them I don't like, but there's a few that he's made that I don't disagree with.
Yeah.
Don't me.
But like he just, when he was on Busted Open, when he was saying about when Truth got fired, and he's just like, the one thing you could say about Vince is he cared about what the fans thought. It's like, no, he didn't, because you had a job for too fucking long. If Vince cared what the fans thought, you would have been ushered out, years ago. John Cena would have been Kurt Angle's retirement opponent, not the bullshit match that you gave, and you wouldn't have been pushed. If anything, you would have been pushed off a cliff in the trunk of a car.
Devil's advocate, though, like Cleneth was saying last week, at least Vince was making it to where you could actually buy the ticket to the show.
Yeah.
And come watch.
Well, and that's it.
Like Vince didn't care about people in that. Like you could say what you want about
in that sense,
he
yes.
cared about your wallet. Then Triple H wants to butt fuck it.
I don't even think it's. I don't even think it's Triple H. I think it's those assholes that are, Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro.
Dude, I know it's not Triple H, but still, they have a $6,500 John Cena package for Saturday night's main event to like go and watch the show and sit in the crowd. A $6,500 fucking proposal for one person. That's insane. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
These people want your fucking money.
Yeah, that's
AEW's the good guy.
Yeah. In the situation of they try to make it affordable for families, yeah. Even though
Vince is the good guy.
Even though it's not necessarily AEW is not a family product, because you have fucking, blood and guts and fucking, John Moxley having women in the stable because he likes how their feet looked or how their feet look. Fucking, Tony Storm eating snatch when she's got somebody up for a tombstone pile driver.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not opposed to that. I'm just saying it's not a family show when that's happening.
Hey, it was the best meeting out there. Leave it alone, all right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, is that like
Baron Corbin sucked.
Oh yeah.
The Lone Wolf stuff was
Speaking of horrible snatch.
It was fun at first, the Lone Wolf stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
And the feud with like Dean Ambrose and shit on SmackDown when they did their 77th brand split.
Yeah.
And like he was all right in that capacity. The Constable shit was fucking terrible. The happy shit, everything else was just bad. the GM. He's just never wore him wrestling in a suit. I just was never fucking. He had that go away heat, and I do like he was featured on top a lot with the top guys, and I know he'll credit himself as getting Roman Reigns over, but he didn't, and Roman got himself over in a different way, and he's a bust. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
Oh, 100%.
And that's why he's got to talk about it now.
Who, me or Corbin?
Corbin.
Oh,
That's why he's on the radio talking about it.
yeah.
We're on the radio talking about it because we're fat and unathletic, and he's on the radio talking about it because it didn't work out.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why we're here. But, all right. You want to know what we're doing next week? You already plugged your cartoon.
Yeah. So I don't have to do that again. And plus, Dave's not in the chat room anymore. So
You don't have to do the old plug jab.
all right, what are we doing next week?
What's the pay-per-view coming up for WWE?
Crown Jewel.
Yeah, in Perth.
After that.
Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Cleneth, do I have that right?
Yeah. Survivor Series.
Cena's going to wrestle there, right?
Yeah. I think.
I hope he does.
Oh, he might show up. I don't know. But
All right, what we're doing next week is a rivalry retrospective.
Okay.
We're going to do the NWO versus Goldberg.
NWO versus Goldberg.
Yep. No, the NWO versus WCW.
Okay.
That makes it a little.
So
Oh my god!
basically-
Oh my god! You'll never get me to shut up.
So basically, well, it's not like unlike any other fucking episode. So we no, I'm just kidding. But it's gonna be a fun. That's basically all of '97 and '98.
Yeah.
And technically, I am watching 97, 98 WCW right now as well. So,
Yeah, so I'm glad.
Thank God.
I'm glad we could stay on brand. I love how you guys hated the idea at first. Just kind of.
I mean, technically, that's what I usually do. I'm in work in the morning. I watch. I've been watching Nitros. I decided to give it another chance. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Now, can you make it past the stuff with the Warrior?
I haven't gotten that part yet. Right now, I'm going into Super Brawl 97. Super Brawl 97.
Super Brawl 7.
7. Yeah. It's 97, I know. I'm in.
Good show.
Yeah.
97's their best year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm watching Piper finally coming back for a title match with Hogan. So yeah, Macho Man coming back, trying to make his way back. Sting trying to figure out if he's NWO or who is he.
Yeah.
All right. So sounds good. We excited?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see everybody next week.
See ya.
Later.
Later.
I'll take care of the shorts.
All right.
Better not.
Eric, enjoy your vacation.